Hey everybody! This is a Patron members live stream. We're going to be doing kind of what we did last Wednesday for the members live stream. Going over some of the dungeon, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have done to add to this adventure. It kind of got bigger and got away from me a little bit. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to open this quickly. Well, as quickly as my ancient Mac will allow. Hold on a second. There we go. This bad boy. No. No, this is super interesting. No, I want to drag you. There we go. All right, cool. So, let me just switch this to this. Really? Nope, that's not right. There we go. So, yeah, that didn't work super great. But anyway, so I've changed the name from the Lost Labyrinth to the Mithril Halls of the Dwarven Kings. You know what? We're going to change the position of this to here. There we go. Just like that. So, it's no longer just Lost Labyrinth. It is now the Mithril Halls of the Dwarven Kings. The setup remains the same. I don't know if I read the setup last time. So, we're going to go through the setup of this adventure. The Stonehammer Dwarf clan has been reclaiming their ancestral kingdom beneath the Grey Peak Mountain. Though they have made some progress, they are not great enough in number to clear out the monsters that have taken up residence in the depths of this once great kingdom. The Stonehammer clan was one of the most powerful dwarf clans hundreds of years ago. War, disease, and losing their kingdom when their king went mad have left the clan with few resources to push against the lizard folk, orcs, and undead that have taken up residence in their halls. And that's just what they know about. Stonehammers have warriors pushing against the orcs, and they are beginning to move toward clearing out the lizard folk, but they need more help. A call has gone out to adventurers and mercenaries to clear out the depths of their kingdom and ancient mines. Treasure found along the way may be kept by those who find it minus 10%, which goes back to the dwarves. So any treasure that's found, 10% of it goes to the dwarves. Adventurers keep the rest. The dwarves have no idea what lays below the first level of their kingdom. That knowledge was lost hundreds of years ago. Dwarves are... What am I doing? Dwarves are present only on the first level of the dungeon. As more of the dungeon is cleared, they will spread over each level and begin mining operations. There should always be some threat on each level, either creatures that were cleared coming back, or new creatures moving in or being discovered by the dwarven mining. So basically, the dwarves are hiring people out to help clear out the dungeon, and as things get cleared out, the dwarves will mine, and possibly new creatures will move in, or the mining will uncover others. There are some rumors I think I went through last time. So you could roll on this, or you could pick whatever you want. The last adventurers to enter the dungeon came back laden with treasure, which is true. A powerful vampire dwells in the lower levels of the dungeon. It's partly true, partly false. I don't know. I don't know what part is true, what part is false. I haven't figured it out. And I think that's something that I can leave for dungeon masters who run this dungeon to decide for themselves. The last adventurers to enter never left, which is false. Powerful sentient sword is hidden somewhere in the dungeon's depths. Is true. I have not created the sword, so I don't know, and I don't know what level it's on. The dungeon is heavily trapped, partly true, partly false. It is trapped. In some areas, very heavily trapped. Some areas, not so much. A great vault filled with gold and gems and is guarded by a basilisk. A great vault filled with gold and gems and guarded by. Let's edit that because that makes no sense. There is a great vault filled with gold and gems and guarded by a basilisk. I should probably bring this over closer to me. I don't know if you guys heard me at all. Sorry, I was trying to set up. I got home from work. Like, it took me like an hour and a half to drive home. And I rushed, had dinner. And, so yeah. It was not super awesome. The undead have spread deep and infected many of the dungeon's denizens. And the dwarves are currently ruled by a king who has gone mad and kills any who displease him is false. And the undead spread deep is true. And the basilisk is true. So, entrances. There are two main entrances to the dungeon. The first is carved out of the side of Grey Peak Mountains. Columns 30 feet high were hewn from the stone 1,000 years ago. Columns 30 feet high were hewn from the stone 1,000 years ago. And flank. And flank a yawning cave entrance. Just inside the entrance, stairs lead a winding path to a corridor. A on the map, level 1. So on the map of the level, that's what it is. The second entrance is inside the ruins of a ruined temple to an ancient god long forgotten to history, behind a shattered stone door, the rubble of which is scattered about the ruins. Stone stairs, cracked and covered in moss, and vine lead to room 1. So, if we look at this, it's a cave entrance. That's the temple ruins entrance. I am switching this out. I've done a couple of changes to it. And you might notice that I added this map here. So this is what I was talking about, what I've added to it. I've started kind of creating a sandbox for it. Whether or not I include this in the final draft, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of fun to give this kind of a little bit of an area to, Castle Cragmaw Town, Rivershade Town, and the dungeon. It could create a little bit of a sandbox for players. I think it'll be interesting. But we'll see. It does mean there's a lot more work for me to do to flesh out some of this stuff. So, Castle Cragmaw. This is stuff I've been working on the last couple of days. I've only worked on Castle Cragmaw. I don't have a map for it yet either. Castle Cragmaw was once the stronghold of the Cragmaw Duchy. I think we're going to have to change that to a barony. Because otherwise it should be Duke Xanthus, but yeah. Cragmaw Barony. Baron Xanthus Cragmaw sat upon his throne in the highest tower of the castle and surveyed his lands and issuing decrees for 60 years. When his reign ended 200 years ago, he left no heir and no path forward for the duchy, barony. Though he believed he was a benevolent ruler, his people struggled under his rule. His laws and iron grip on the land forced his people to toil in the muck and mire of the land while he grew rich off their backs. When he died, some say of natural causes, others say he was poisoned by an indentured servant seeking freedom. The people of the duchy, change that to barony yet again. People of the barony banded together and shuttered the castle, and it fell into ruin. Their freedom from the tyrant allowed the town of Cragmaw to grow and prosper and become a wealthy trading post. Rumors abound about what remains in the castle. Adventurers may hear these rumors if they spend time in Cragmaw. So this is what I kind of like. We got this Castle Cragmaw, which can be an adventure site. I'll probably build a couple of layers of it, a couple of floors, and then it can be used in conjunction with the dungeon and have a kind of like, sandbox style feel to it. And it gives like a basis of like, okay, there's a dungeon, there's a town, there's this other thing over here, and players can decide what they want to follow, and you've got like probably quite a while of playtime out of it. So the rumors: the ghost of Baron Cragmaw roams the halls of the castle. False. An evil wizard has taken up residence in one of the towers of the castle. True. Might change this to partly true, partly false. Because I was thinking about this on my drive to work today, and I have an idea. Partly true, partly false. Oh. I have an idea for that, where it can play into a couple of the other rumors. Werewolves prowl the grounds of the castle. True. The Baron's vast fortune was never found and is believed to be hidden somewhere within. True. Because there's always got to be gold somewhere, right? Anyone who passes the gates is turned into stone. False. The castle's dungeon is crawling with undead. True. So there's those. Some rumors that could hook players to, push them to go and explore. Then we have Cragmaw and Rivershade, which I haven't worked on just yet. And all this stuff I went through the last time, the dungeon history. So level 1, let's go and let's see, we've made it to, I think I went through, I went through the southeast sector. And I worked on the south sector. So now we're in the central sector. So the south, I changed the wandering monsters. I don't know if I mentioned this last time or it's something I changed afterwards. Depending on the sector, you roll for the wandering monsters at different times. So in the southeast sector, where it's less dangerous, you only roll for a wandering monster every hour, and it's a 1 in 6. However, the south sector, which is a little more dangerous, it's a 1 in 2 in 6 chance, and you roll every half hour. Next, we are going to all right, cool. So now we are at the central sector. So central sector, this time I have my sheet. Central sector is red, so it is one of the most dangerous areas. So it's going to be kind of brutal for these guys. So the central sector houses the ancient tombs and crypts. It has the appearance of still being under construction. Rubble and tools can be found scattered around the halls and in some of the rooms. It looks as though it was abandoned quickly. We're just going to do this. All right, so let's do this. We're going to bring this guy over here. And this guy we're going to bring here. So the central sector is rooms 8, 14, 29, 30, 31, 32. So someone was nice enough to, in the comments, to tell me how to zoom on this. There we go. One thing I don't like is I can't collapse the sides here and just have this thing. But it is what it is. So, room 8 is the Hall of the Dead. It's a torture room. So, what do we think is in the torture room? Say racks of rusty weapons and tools line the walls. Chains hang from the ceiling. A table with manacles. How do you spell manacles? Like that. Perfect. A table with manacles sits in the center of the room, and the floor of the middle. Start a new sentence here. Let's go here and oops. And a table with manacles. All right. A red stain has formed under the table in the middle of the room. That sounds appropriately horrific. Oh yeah, we gotta do our wandering monsters. So if this is red, we're gonna say so 1 in 2 chance of a wandering monster. 1 to 2 in 6 chance of. How did I phrase it before? A wandering monster every of a wandering. Nope. Wandering monster every 20 minutes. All right, that shouldn't be that. And okay, wandering monsters should be underlined. I always forget how I formed things before, so I always have to scroll back up and look at what I did. 1d6. Come on. All right. Oh, there's dwarf zombies in this area. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna say on a 1, there's skeletons. Let's say 1d6 skeletons. 1d4. Everything's 1d4. 1d6. Skeletons are easy. 1d6 skeletons. On a 2, there are lizard men. On a 3 to 4, there are zombie dwarfs. Or should spell that properly. Dwarves. And on a 5 to 6, giant spiders. So giant spiders are pretty prevalent here. So in this dungeon anyway. So there we go. Giant spiders. So room 6, that's the description. Let's say north door. Oops, door is locked. I know generally we don't do locked doors, but I want to mix it up a bit because there's a lot of the doors just stuck. I want to mix it up a bit. I don't think I'm going to trap it. I'm just going to say it's locked. South door. You know what? Just say north door is locked. Now, where's my D20? We gotta find out what is in this room. Alright. Here we go. Room contents. D20. 17. Monster and treasure. Alright, so. I think it has to be a zombie dwarf. Monster. Say 1d3. Actually, no, let's just say 3 zombie dwarves. That says 2. I want 3. One is laying on the table. The other 2 are in a heap against the north wall. There we go. And then treasure. What should the treasure be? Actually, you know what? So they're zombie dwarfs, so they're dwarves, so presumably they had some kind of gold on them. I don't think they have dwarfs in here. They don't. So let's see, what does zombies have? I feel like zombies is just going to say there's no treasure for them, but you never know. I've been wrong before. Treasure type none. Exactly. So let's say, I wonder if, what would I have that has, all right, we're going to go to Osric. Because I have a feeling that Osric will have dwarves as a creature. Because that's just the kind of, well, there's men. That's good for the future. Well, he's got men, he's probably got dwarves. Demi-humans. Here we go. Perfect. Dwarf. What's the treasure type? Doesn't have a treasure type. Player probability 50%. Well, that's not it. Ah, here we go. Treasure. Individual 2d4 times 5 gold pieces. Alright, so 2d4 times 5. So we're going to roll this 3 times. So that is 4, 2, 6 times 5, 25, 30. 2, 1, 3 times 5 is 15. So that's 45. 2, 4 is 6 times 5 is 30. So 60, 75 GP amongst them. That's not the treasure that's in here. Oops. Treasure that's in here is actually, let's go to what I was using before and look at this treasure. So again, we're using the solo dungeon stuff from Tactical Review. I probably got that wrong. It's been a day. It's been a long day. All right, so D100. $67. 250 gold pieces per level. It's first level, so 250 gold pieces. And what is it in? Let's go back to see if Osric's got info for that for me. Treasure. I saw it before. Probably doesn't. Oh, it might be in the... I think I know where it is. So Osric, like AD&D, has the dungeon generation stuff in it. So let's see if I can find that, and then we'll use that. Let's go to the front. Dungeon generator. Armor, compiled tables. Sell treasures. Dungeons and Towns, 153. Basically, I just want a container. What's it in? I'm sure I could figure that out, but random trap generation, attributes, no. There we go. Treasure hidden by or in. Cool. Let's roll on that. D20. I just dropped papers. 3. Hidden by an illusion. Okay. So let's say treasure hidden in a locked chest under an illusion spell to look like a painting. A painting leaning against the west wall. So I think that's bizarre enough that if you describe this room when players enter it, they're going to be like, why is it, this is clearly a torture room, why is there a painting leaning against the wall? It's weird. What's going on with that? Assuming they survive the zombie dwarfs. Alright, room 14 is catacombs. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I want it to be catacombs. Doesn't really... So there's a secret crypt in room 29 here. Room 30 is the Hall of Bones. 31 is a Hall of Mourners. There's no doors to it. It's just like an alcove in the hallway. And 32 is a false treasure room. So the catacombs doesn't quite fit there. What do we have up here? Got an Undercroft, Hall of Statuary, Ceremonial Chamber, Novitiate. And of course, I can change all of this too. Hall of Runes. I don't know, man. Memorial Chamber, Storeroom. So this is clearly like the dungeon area. But I don't want it to be holding cells because like over here there's cells and stuff. So I don't want it to be more cells. And it's got 2 hallways that go into it that are not guarded. So one hallway goes to the torture chambers and the other hallway continues this way. So what would make sense there? I think... Well, let me take a look at the dungeon rooms in here. I think it's always... I don't think there's no... I don't see an issue with using other books to help generate your dungeon. Even if it's a dungeon that you plan on releasing to people, I think there's... Like, why not? They're there to be used, so you can... Just because you used a book to help you think of stuff does not mean that it's any less original or yours. Right? At least I'd like to think so, given that I'm... That's what I'm doing. Oh, you know what I think? Since there's a secret crypt, this is clearly like a burial area with the Hall of the Dead, which has been turned into torture room. I think that the catacombs is going to be... Oh, hit my mic. Lovely. Catacombs is going to be the Oracle Chamber. Should probably turn my phone off. I'm just going to put now abandoned. So I think they had an Oracle Chamber that maybe at one time this chamber, the Oracle that was in this chamber, sort of sealed people's fate. Maybe the Oracle kind of passed judgment on them, and that's why there's a torture chamber. Or maybe the Oracle is in this chamber and it's just surrounded by dead dwarven warriors and, you know, something to that effect. Maybe they had to go deep into this area of the dead to speak with the Oracle, or that the Oracle, that's how the Oracle spoke, is, you know, because it listened to the dead. So I think in the center of the room there's going to be so I don't put a lot of detail into the rooms, like into the map. Like I don't put beds and stuff like that. I just describe it. But there's some things that I want to actually have be a part of the room. Not a sinkhole. What's that? That's different than the other stuff I've been using. Circle, circle, dot, circle filled. Bit closed. I feel like there's got to be something here. Here we go. A well. move 14 down here. The well is going to come here. I think I got a well somewhere else. Whoop. Did I put a well somewhere else? Nope, I didn't. Cool. There's the well. The Oracle's well. All right. Actually, I thought I did down here. Yeah, there is. There's a little well there. Actually, do I want the well? Or do I want something? You know what? I'm just going to undo that. There we go. Whew. Almost lost the entire thing. This is going to go here. In the center of the room, there is a deep hole. The bottom is so the depth is unknown. Depth is unknown. Let's say, let's put it something here, like a dais or a raised, sort of like a raised area. Fireplace? No, that's not good. Altar, I've got altars already. Ooh, stop. Curtain, no. Double door, no. Ladder up, ladder down. A lounge. Pit closed. There's no like round table. Here we go. Let's use this. It's a throne. So that's where the oracle sat. Maybe we'll bring it here. So the oracle sat right by the pit. People would be brought in to talk to the oracle, and if the oracle didn't like what they had to say or what have you, into the pit. I want bigger. There we go. A dilapidated throne sits next to the pit. A skeleton wreathed skeleton wrapped in yellowing gauze sits on the throne. Now, is that skeleton animated, undead? I don't think so. I think the fact that the skeleton's there is going to freak out players. And I think that not having it do anything will be even more stressful for them. because they're going to be like constantly, what's going on with this skeleton? Why isn't it moving? So the skeleton is obviously the oracle that's died there. It has stringy hair and long fingernails, just to give it extra weirdness. Now, what is going on in this room? There's monster, treasure, trap. I think I'll probably add a trap in there anyway, but 7. It's empty. You know what? I think that's okay. Curtains and tapestries cover the walls of the room, and torch holders are affixed to the stone walls. There we go. So it's a room that's got nothing going on in it, but it's very atmospheric. I like that. That works. Now, I don't have a lot of traps here. Not many traps in this room, and we're in a red zone. But even in the red zone, I don't want it to be heavily trapped because there's still first level characters generally going to be on here. I feel like I don't want to make it that deadly for them. Is there any traps? There isn't any traps. You know what? I think the north door is going to be trapped. Just because until this point, players have gotten enough kind of easy. Just give them that trap. Let them freak out about the skeleton and then probably forget to check for traps, and the door's going to get them. Trap. North door. Let's look what the strategic review has for me. Pit. Let's say if the door is not unlocked, no, because then they're gonna be like, I'm gonna unlock the door. How are we going to do this? I want it to be something a little different than like a dart or an arrow. If the door is forced open, from inside the oracle room, spikes come up from the It's weird. It was on vibrate. I don't know why I did that. Come up from the floor and down from the ceiling. I would leave it up to the DM to decide if they want to do a, again, hit my mic, if they want to do a sort of a saving throw. Trying to make this as system agnostic as possible. I don't want to imply a system in it. I want people to be able to take it and use it with whatever system they want. So I'm not going to imply a saving throw. DMs can add saving throws to it if they want. That's their prerogative. They can, you know. Trap does 1d6 damage. 1d6 damage generally is enough to kill a first level character. But there's lots of ways to negate that. They can either, succeed on a saving throw or what have you. That works. All right, 29, Secret Crypt. This small room. I'm probably going to change the names of these because these are all names that I got from the I was like rolling for rooms in the dungeon design, the classic dungeon design guide. So I just wrote down the rooms that I rolled. I'll probably change the names just so I'm not like, it's not just coming straight out of there. But for now, at least it's telling me what the room is, and a small room holds a single sarcophagus. It's not a secret door right now. Say door is locked. There you go. Held a single sarcophagus. Upon entry, a gas is released through vents in the floor. Do you want them to be gassed? No, not going to be gassed. Upon entry, the room fills with water for 1d6 turns. I want to say rounds. So one thing that's I've never, and I don't know why, I've never wrapped my head around is turns and rounds. Like I use them interchangeably, and I know they are very different. I know there's X number of turns in a round, but for some reason I've never been able to just wrap my head around it. Like I just call everything a turn because I feel like once turn's over, that's done. But I guess theoretically, once everyone's turn is done, the round is done, or it's 10 turns to a round. something to that effect. But the room fills with water for 1d6 rounds. Unless the door is forced open again, or so I don't want it to be only one thing can happen to prevent for them to live, to survive. I want them to have more than one opportunity to survive this, because otherwise it's cheap. You don't want to don't want the players to feel like they're only, oh well, we only had one chance, we didn't figure it out, then how are we going to survive this? I personally feel that's kind of cheap, so I want to give them more than one opportunity. Doors forced opening again. Ooh. The lever inside the sarcophagus is pulled, or the pipes in the ceiling are locked. So there's 3 different ways they can get out. I'm still not really happy about that, but I just pulled that off the top of my head. Door is locked. The small room holds a single sarcophagus. Upon entry, the room fills with water for 1d6 rounds unless the door is forced open again. Lever inside the sarcophagus is pulled, or the pipes in the ceiling are blocked. So there's going to be water coming from the ceiling. They can jam the pipes. If they open the sarcophagus, there's a lever. Maybe they'll open the sarcophagus first and be like, why is there a lever there? Probably not. Actually, let's see. Upon entry... Upon entry of the room, there is a 1 in 6 chance that it begins to... Whoops. There we go. So it's not even definite. It just might happen. Upon entry of the room, there's a 1 in 6 chance that it begins to fill with water. Now, is there treasure in here? So we didn't... There's no monsters. I know there's no monsters. Let's see, 13. Again, I'm getting bing bongs and my phone is on vibrate. I don't know why. That's weird. 13. That's really... You know what? No, we're going to say that there is treasure in here. We are going to go with basic fantasy again. Unguarded treasure. Probably in the sarcophagus. Makes the most sense to me. Unguarded treasures. Here we go. Alright, so unguarded treasures. This will be the last thing for the night. Let's just go with level 1. 75 chance that there's 1d8 hundreds coppers. Alright, so d8. 300 copper. It's obviously inside the sarcophagus. $300 copper pieces. Oops. 50% chance. Silver. Right. Silver. That's 1d6. 5. So 500 silver. Maybe this sarcophagus is just full of loot. Electrum. I don't really use Electrum in my games, but I'll put it in here just to... If DMs want to use it, they can. If they don't, then... D4 Electrum. 100. 100 EP. 7% chance of gold. That's a no. 1% chance of platinum. Nope. 7% chance of gems. No. 3 jewelry. No. And 2% magic item. Nope. So that's the treasure inside sarcophagus. There we go. Cool. And that's that for this. Right here, we're just going to put, oops. We're going to insert, oops, no, home. Insert a line, horizontal line. And here, insert a horizontal line. So, again, coming along. It is not, certainly not finished yet, but it is a process. There's a lot of rooms to go through. I gotta still have all of these that we got to fill out. Some of them I haven't even decided what they are. I do know that, for instance, like up here, this is going to be like a dwarven marketplace, so there's probably going to be a blacksmith, a general store, maybe a treasury or a bank or something. This is going to be like the dwarven dining hall or a tavern type place, and then probably like a guard room, living quarters, like other small areas. So like that, I kind of know that area is going to be there for the players to utilize, but it's not going to be a kick in the doors and kill monsters area. It's more of a, oh, thank God we found safety area. But that's it for that for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's some more building, shows a little bit about my process and what I'm working on, and what I hope maybe someday I'll actually release. Like the dungeon, I'm going to release to my patrons and channel members. You guys will get it once the first level's done. I'll give that off to you guys. Probably won't have the surrounding area information included in it. It'll probably just be the dungeon and the room information and stuff like that. But I think maybe if I work on it and I like how it's going, maybe it's something I'll end up releasing on drive-through if I think it's good enough. But that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy that. And until next time, save a seat for me at your table.